your attention, please, because we're going to get started. So we're gonna get served quietly. An announcement for those of you who need your parking. So if you paid for parking, Miss Willie Mae Taylor and Miss Cassandra Littlejohn do have your slips in the back. They have your names on them. So please don't forget them when you leave, because what will happen is you'll pull to the, before you leave the garage, there'll be the station there. You'll give them the card that you got when you came in, along with that little bitty slip. It's real tiny, so don't lose it. So you'll need that when you leave. So please do not forget, for those of you who purchase parking, please don't forget your slip as you exit. One other announcement. This is such a beautiful crowd, and I am feeling the love. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. But one thing we would like to ask, though, a lot of you have pre-registered and paid in advance, so it looks like everybody's getting food. They were a little nervous. They were like, well, we only prepared for this many people. So what happens is I try to see how many people pre-register, and then I guess a little over, and maybe I get the number right today. Well, didn't get the number right. Also, then if you, so if you don't mind, if you're gonna come, we'd love to have you. If you just run up against a wall and you just are like, I'm coming today, we're not gonna turn you away. You're certainly welcome. But it does help us, help the Plaza Cup, make sure that you are comfortable and well fed. So just a note. Well, I'm really excited about today. All right, so it is Women's Month. Everybody, let's celebrate ourselves. Celebrate women. And our moderator today, Dr. Keely Petty, she is definitely a woman of power. She exudes it with elegance and grace and with care. And I think she is going to be an excellent moderator, because we have these beautiful women who in each of their industries are truly making a difference. But besides in their industries making a difference, they also take time personally to give to their communities and to empower others in their community. So I believe it's going to be an awesome discussion today. I hope that you absorb, and celebrate them, celebrate yourselves, and then go on out and celebrate others and uplift others. So and guess what? Because we're so short on time, you're gonna have to see your emails for their bios, okay? Your email, or go to Facebook and catch their bios, but we're a little short on time. So we will make sure that they get to introduce themselves and what their title is and what they do in the community, however. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Keely Petty.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm having to deal with the chewing and swallowing, but that's okay. We're so happy to have you here today, and we know without a doubt you're going to hear something that will change your life for the rest of your life, that will encourage you. It is Women's Month, and I was thinking about a quote that Wilma Rudolph, if you're familiar with her, she was a world record-holding Olympian champion and international sports fan, in track and field, and this is what she said. She said, never underestimate the power of dreams and influence of the human spirit. We are all the same in this notion. The potential for greatness lives within each and every one of us. Today we have a panel of women who are runners. They're not only movers and shakers, but they have a spirit to run and to pass the torch and to pass the baton within their respective places and within their community. You are blessed today, and if you can kind of keep things quiet so that we're not distracted by the cutting of your chicken and the sipping of your tea, we want to let you know that we have Beverly Watts-Davis, who's here with us, her name means streams, and she certainly has carved out streams everywhere she's gone. We have Rebecca Viagran, the councilwoman, whose name means servant of God, and certainly she's taking God everywhere she's going. We have Dr. Sharon, whose name means level or straight. She's coming straight at you. She's a straight shooter, and once you encounter her, the rough places of your life will be leveled. And then we have Dr. Dianna, whose name means bright and complete light. So she will illuminate your minds and your hearts today. And we just want to put one more round of applause for these women taking time out of their schedules to come and whisper what heaven has spoken to them. Can we go ahead and start with one of the questions is, and we're just going to go from Beverly all the way down the line. What inspirations have you had in regards to the work that you're doing? What inspires you? What keeps you going?
Well, if you all can you all hear me?
No, you probably should use the mic.
Can you hear?
There you
Can you hear
go.
me? What inspires me actually is seeing people taking a chance, because I feel like you all, the only thing you can do, even if you fail, the good thing is the failure's not permanent. It's just for the moment. I have a saying: I don't accept no for an answer, because no only means no for that moment. I'm going to get to yes, and I'm going to get what it is that we want to be able to get done. And so that truly, just people taking a chance and taking a risk. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
I guess I'm Dr. Burns. I'm a pediatrician. So what inspires me obviously is the children that I see. I can remember to watch someone come in as a baby and to grow up to be a wonderful human being is always important, and it's always nice to think that you had a role in it. I can remember several years ago I had one little boy who actually came into the office. I'd done a commercial for Christus, and he came into the office, and at the end of the commercial I had said, I had some of the most special people, and they could be whatever they wanted to be. And he said to me, Dr. Burns, I can be whatever I want to be, which was the greatest thing, and he believed it because I said it.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Viagran. I think what inspires me are the people of San Antonio and the people of District 3. And what inspires me too is when we stand up and we break strongholds. And when we break patterns of what people said that we should be or how we should just settle, when we stand up and we say, no, we're going to change the narrative on that. That's what inspires me.
Affecting positive change in the lives of others. That's what inspires and motivates me. And as an educator, when I have an opportunity to work with students in higher education, I truly believe that education is empowering, it is liberating, it sets you free, and of course knowledge is power. So when working in higher education, promoting education is what inspires and motivates me.
Wow, thank you so much. With all of that being said, how do you handle the challenges that seem to inevitably come no matter what we do, no matter how we avoid them? How do you handle the challenges? How do you handle the challenges? I think Beverly mentioned that no is not really no, but how do we stand in that and make that effectively work in our places?
You go first and then.
Okay, obviously, but she's the boss, so she just delegated. So I guess how do we handle the challenges? I think first, God always has to be first, and I think that if you do what you feel is right, the challenge does not become a challenge; it just becomes an obstacle that you can succeed with. So I think the way that I handle the challenges that I see, I'm a scientist, so scientists believe in strategic thinking. So I believe everything has a solution, and if the solution is just it might take a little time, but most things have multiple solutions. So I think whenever we meet a challenge, the idea is to sit down, to think about it, and to develop a path. So most of the things that have been challenging for me as I've grown in my profession and in my life has been, first, do the right thing, do what God says that you should do, and then figure it out.
I think, how do I handle the challenges? Well, going off of what she shared, I know that I do things not for my own, but for the Lord. And I know that whatever challenges come and face me, that the battle is not mine, it belongs to the Lord. So I always remember that going in any challenging, I think I did that one now.
Going into any situation, knowing that the battle is not mine, it's the Lord's. And so no matter what happens, that there is a solution that is going to be workable coming through this. And that I will, that there will be a way, even when there is no way.
Growing up as an African American female in this society, I'm very much aware, and I'm focusing on education. I'm very much aware of the educational divide as it relates to access and opportunities. So the challenge that I'm faced with on a daily basis is the fact that over 70% of our students receive some type of financial assistance. So being the director for development, I have an opportunity to put together fundraising opportunities. I'm excited about our latest fundraiser. We just hosted our annual scholarship golf tournament, where this was our 11th year, and we have been able to raise over $1.5 million to assist with scholarships for our students. The primary recipients are our presidential scholars, and we don't just give them money. We realize in education the most successful student are those that are engaged not only in the college but in the community. So our presidential scholars do community service. We have also the other recipients are the student engagement grant recipients, and they do community service projects on the campus. So that is the challenge that I'm faced with in higher education.
Wow, that is so incredible. Want to now segue to. Oh, come on, Beverly. Go ahead. You know what? She took. Yeah, there you go. Come on, Bev. Come on.
So one of the things that for me, in terms of handling challenges, I honestly, people often go, why, Lord? Why did this happen to me? My question is, why not? And so I believe that the challenges that I face, quite frankly, have been sent to me because God wants me to handle them.
Wow.
And so with that in mind, you just go about not lamenting why, but what you can do and what you should do, and you just get about the business, because once you do that, the challenge no longer is the challenge. The challenge is no longer the challenge. And one thing that I really believe in doing is I really believe in supporting others and supporting women and supporting people who I believe are on the right path. And one thing that I've always believed is that none of us are successful by ourselves. None of us. And the more that you help other people, the more things will be, when you're least expecting it, the people will come through for you because you came through for them. So.
Good. Come on, let's clap it up for that. I like that idea of if I celebrate somebody else, somebody will celebrate me. The next point we'd like to ask you, what changes have you made in the industry or the field that you work? I know that there are many, but what one change can you talk to us about that you made in the particular area that you work in?
Now we're on. So one of the changes that we've made in District 3 and I think in the City Council, at least in District 3, is I wanted to make sure that women had more representation on our boards and commissions. And that was something that was extremely important to me, that we had an equitable distribution. And so more than half of my board and commission appointments on District 3 are women. And another thing that I changed is to make sure that those that serve on my board and commissions live in District 3. Because before, sometimes that didn't happen. So I wanted to make sure that we had that representation of women. And we also made sure we passed a women's equity resolution to make it a priority to bring issues that impact women when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to health outcomes, and when it comes to domestic violence, that we make it a priority for the city of San Antonio to put resources there. Other changes that we've made is looking at our areas in an equitable distribution when it comes to resources. And that just means putting resources into the areas that have been underinvested or overlooked for decades. We need to put the dollars in there. And we also know that this didn't happen in 2 years. This didn't happen overnight. It happened after decades of neglect. And now we have to continue to show the respect and the worthiness of our areas that have sustained the entire city, our older neighborhoods and communities. So we've made that change, and I'm very proud of that. Two other things I want to just highlight. One is I have women leaders and action panels as well, showcasing women who may not be president and CEOs, but who are still making moves in their industries. And I also have a District 3 Legacy Leadership Initiative, so that my high school students in District 3 will be the present and the future leaders of the city of San Antonio and District 3. We started that one our 6th year, and it's about a legacy of leadership.
Wow, thank you. Changes you've made in your respective work areas.
Okay, at St. Philip's College, I'm happy to report that we have received the Baldrige Award, and that is one of the highest ranking awards that you can receive in the nation. And but no one is perfect. So one of the challenges or criticism is that we need to be more innovative. And so in our area, we decided to come up with an innovative opportunity for our students. We host an annual homecoming dinner and dance. And we now have the early college high school on our campus. We realize that the early college high school students don't necessarily have the resources to come to a dinner party dressed appropriately. So we created a pop-up shop. And it was exciting in that we asked for gently used items, evening gowns, accessories, and the community came forward, the college, our family and friends. And this year the first year, we had over 300 students come through the pop-up shop. They were able to dress. They came to homecoming looking dressed for success. So it really made a difference.
That's awesome.
One of the things that I learned, I was a former elected official in Austin, Texas, and it was all about making sure we had access to education. And so literally I ran against 7 other people, all of them white, and none of them who thought that a woman or a black woman for sure should win, because what they wanted to do in Austin, Texas was limit the community college system to just those who were going to be feeding over from the University of Texas. So we had all these surrounding communities, and I thought, oh no, one of the game changers in anybody's life is education. Absolutely. And so we ran on a platform, and fundamentally we won, but we also worked with all the other non-members of that council to actually change, and now Austin, Texas has 9 different campuses spanning from Utah all the way down. But one of the other crowning things in my life that I really am very proud about is what's called the Drug-Free Communities legislation. There are people in this room, including Dr. Petty, who have been a recipient of that grant. But what I learned in politics is that you can change things for a day or you can change things for a lifetime. Policy is very, very important because when you are taking on something, you want to change it for real. So from that, other legislation that we're directly responsible for passing is called the Strategic Prevention Framework, which has put hundreds of millions of dollars in the community. And the thing I'm most proud of is the legislation called the Minority AIDS Initiative. HHS, we have people who are funded from that. Michelle Durham with BH, who does an amazing job in San Antonio, receives those dollars. But when I was in Washington, they had decided that the AIDS epidemic did not hit people of color in a worse way. And my argument to Congress was absolutely does, because when you look at all of the other intervening variables we have to deal with in our community, the impact, the treatment, the access, the availability to meds and all those other kinds of things are absolutely impacted. I'm so pleased today, but I received a call actually two weeks ago that legislation not only has been going for a while, we passed under President Obama the National AIDS Policy, but it now is a $500 million program that has been running, and millions of neighborhood policing, because I really was upset with how I felt police interacted with communities of color. I worked with then our Janet Reno, who was under President Clinton, and we actually passed what you all will know as community policing. It was at that time, the concept we put forth was neighborhood policing, and we were able to fund communities around this country to encourage police departments to adopt community policing practices, and that is why we have bike patrols, safety patrols, San Antonio fear-free officers, and we had weed and seed patrol officers here in Texas and around the country.
I think what changes I impact, as you know, like I say, I take care of children. So I might not be able to put the dollar amount, but what we do is change lives. And I think that's probably, as the commercial says, is priceless. Now, the things that we've done actually to do that is that we actually, our practice actually is one of the only private practices that is a Center for Excellence in Foster Care. Our mission has always been to take care of those most vulnerable kids in our community. We started out on the east side where nobody wanted to do, the people asked us if we took food rather than money over there. So it was a very different experience. But we proved, and I think part of the changes that we wanted to make is to show that taking care of people, of kids medically is not some financial investment, but it's an investment in the future. And I think what we did manage to do on the east side was to show that it was not just an investment, but it was also financially worthwhile to take care of people, to take care of the kids over there. We have subsequently, I think the other thing that probably being from the South and coming up during the time where segregation was just starting to transition, it has always been ingrained that you must be a role model for somebody and that you need to break the way. And that I think I have done some things that allow people to evaluate me not based on my color but based on my leadership. I was the first female president second female president of the Bear County Medical Society, which is our white medical society. You had to be voted in, and this was 4,000, generally white men. So it was, to do that, I was chief of staff. But the reason I say that is not because it's some kind of crown, but because it led the way for somebody else. So the next time, they won't be quite as critical. And the next time, maybe the person doesn't have to try as hard. We don't have to look at ourselves as the perfect person the next time. So I think when we talk about change, change comes, is always, for us, has been about being the model to say that we can integrate, that we can change things for the better, that we as people, as minorities, as vulnerable populations, deserve just everything that everybody else gets, and we can do it just as well, and it will not cost our society more to do that we can take care of you. Good care, good medical care, and do it efficiently. Wow.
That is going to help us segue to our next and final question for our panelists. Who are you mentoring and why?
Hopefully everyone who comes in my pathway I am able to mentor. I try to lead by example. And the rationale is that every day I want to make each day, and I want to make myself better today than I was on yesterday. And so I'm going to say I like to empower people. And in doing so, you learn to listen. I recognize that we all have a voice. Everyone has something unique and gifted to contribute to the organization. I allow people to make mistakes. I provide positive feedback as often as I can. And it just makes for a better outcome when we're all part of the team. It's not about me, it's we, us, and our.
There are a number of people that I'm mentoring around. It's not just here in San Antonio. One of my mentees is facilitator. And she has been, I'm so proud of her because she has taken an idea and done amazing things with it. But other young people, other people around the country, they're not all young. It's to help people move forward in their progression field. In the federal government, there are a number of people that I'm mentoring because I know that they're going to be the ones who are going to help set policy and legislation that's going to impact everybody in this room. And so some of them are lobbyists, some of them are actually working in the federal government in key areas. And so, and then there's a lot of young men, because it's also too, ladies, we have to, not only are we their helpmate, but we must bring them up in the way that they need to be brought up. So again, but I do think, I will say one thing. I think every day you have an opportunity to mentor, because don't think people aren't watching. Young people, wherever you're at, people are watching, and so understand that what you're doing is. I have a saying: when people show you who they are, believe them. So make sure, as people are watching you, that they're seeing a person that they can believe in.
Okay. Obviously, who we mentor are the children that we see. And I think, and for me, a lot of times the employees that I have, we have almost 100 people that work for the practice. So being able to make them feel worthy and to feel good about themselves and to capture who they are is part of what I do, and part of what my COO person does too, is to make you feel to be the best that you can be. We also have a program during the summer where we mentor students who actually are interested in medicine and really don't quite know what medicine is all about. So we have sometimes up to about 10 and 12 students who come there, and they actually get paid. It's an indoor job, it's not washing a car. So it allows them to come in to be able to see what patient care is about, but not so much to see what patient care is, but to learn about the medical system and to learn about that medicine is a business. It is not just a fact that you can go see a doctor, but it has truly become a business. And we need to run it like a business and learn how to manage it like a business and to manage our care. So it's been we've done it for probably about 5 years. Every summer we have the students, and they're always kind of leave. I think this one story, they always have to write what they got out of the session, which is some beautiful stories. But we have one student whose dad is a businessman, and when he comes and tells me when she gets home, she starts explaining to him about business and wonders why he doesn't know all these things. So we're excited about what we do, and I think we always try to leave them with a message that the message is always have a plan. Like I said, I'm a scientist. Have your plan A. But your plan B is always trying to make your plan A work.
I think for myself, when I think of mentoring, I always see it as just relational, and I see it's always something that is mutual benefiting for us. So when I'm when I'm sitting with a friend and in mentoring, it's really both of us investing in each other's lives at that time. And so that is what I see. I also see, I also mentor with my colleagues and with my friends, because we're all in different professional realms. And so the main thing it is for me is it is just speaking truth and power into their lives and speaking out the power that I see them, that exists in them, speaking it out loud for them. Because maybe they don't see that, but I see it. So I want to speak it out loud for them so they can have that and start believing it in themselves. If maybe they are in doubt or maybe it's a little shaky. So that's one way that I do for encouragement. And also it's about sharing our stories. I want to sit down and hear people's stories, because that's when life comes, and that's when we can start getting that encouragement and say, if they can do it, I can do it too. If somebody was running on just one thing, I can do it as well. So that's where that encouragement and mentoring comes in for me. And I do that every single day as well. And that is, I receive it every single day as well.
Thank you.
So, as an educator, I wrote it down, and this is the message that I want to always get across as I mentor. Hold fast to your convictions. Never compromise who you are. Never betray your great mind. Bring your own moral compass to school and work. Make ethical decisions. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. And each of us has something to offer. So when we focus on quality education and growth opportunities for the students that we serve, our mission and our vision will always remain intact. And most importantly, leave a legacy.
Yes, that's incredible. You know, I woke up this morning thinking about Psalm 68 and 11. How many of you have read a psalm? Somebody, right? Well, if you haven't, I'd like to invite you to go and read Psalm 68 and 11, because I believe it is befitting for Women's Month, and just to know the heart and mind of God toward women. The text says, and great shall be the company of women who proclaim good news. I'm sitting among women today as I look out into the audience, and we've been graced today with women who have their running track shoes on, like Wilma Rudolph, and they are definitely proclaiming good news in their respective fields. Can we give them a hand applause for sharing? And then as you leave today, you have some homework. You need to ask yourself, what did I learn today? What frightened me today? What propelled me today? Why am I stuck? Why won't I go and be great? Why won't I go and do what I believe is inside of me to do that will benefit not only the community, but perhaps the world? What idea am I sitting on that would benefit humanity? But I'm scared to pin it. I'm scared of the vision. What is it that's keeping me back? Is it my race? Is it that I'm female? Am I having emotional issues? And then who will I share what I learned today? Will I tell anybody I was here today? Or is this just another meal? Is it just another good view? Whose view can you change today? And then who did you meet today? Who's in here that you want to meet, but you've always kind of been like, they won't talk to me. My breath is bad. Who do you want to meet today? And then will you connect with somebody that can hold your hand and help you run into the destiny that's waiting for you? Because wonderful things happen when women hold hands and run the race. I'm now putting you back in the hands of Renee. You can find these women on social media, but you can certainly certainly look them up and be intrigued as I have been about the work that they're doing. And I know that I'm doubly blessed because not only is Beverly Watts my mentor in the work that we do in the community, but her beautiful sister Eva was my mentor first. And Eva is now in the great cloud of witnesses in heaven, watching Beverly and I do what she always told the three of us would be able to do together. And that's make change within our community, because we can be change agents. It's not just a slogan, but it's a reality. So that's my time. I thank you for yours. Let's go and do something incredible for the glory of God.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much to each of our panelists. Marvelous words of wisdom, with care too, not just, they're not hollow words, they're words filled with care and with action. Thank you to our beautiful moderator, excellent job, we appreciate you. Thank you to everybody, you look so marvelous. I hope, you already came in with energy, but I hope that we've leveled up and you've got additional sorts of, you have more to share with others on your way out on this beautiful week. Listen, our speaker for the April 4th luncheon, I believe that's the first Monday of April, is the Mayor Ron Nuremberg. And then in May, we have Dr. Mateen Diop. He's also a wonderful speaker. He's coming, and we'll be honoring some of our friends of Sam Houston Scholarship recipients at that time. June, we're still working on, but July, we have the new CEO of the San Antonio Growth for the East Side this Tuesday night. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. So we look forward to you coming. I believe you've got an announcement on the table regarding the Friends of Sam Houston. If anybody wants to seed into our scholarship fund, we have a wonderful community breakfast that also has great energy. It'll be at Second Baptist on March the 30th, and you can find out more about that. If not, Miss Willie Mae Taylor, she's our chair, always doing a marvelous job. She's back there, along with your parking slips. Don't forget your parking slips. Any other quick announcements, because we're about to leave? All right. Go ahead, Mom.
Someone tell us. I just wanted to invite everyone that we are going to have an opportunity for Women's Month at the San Antonio Downtown Rotary. Our guest speaker will be